Thank you for this opportunity to discuss a growing issue amongst today's aging culinary professionals: the need for healthcare, pensions, and protection against ageism in the workplace. Hello, my name is Robin Hines, and this is my Capstone 3 presentation for Arizona State University. You might ask, why is this such an important issue for me to address? Well, let me explain. I spent almost 30 years working in the food service industry as a chef. So I have a firsthand account into the challenges faced by chefs in general, and more importantly, those aging out of the profession altogether. Let me explain. At age 58, the arthritis in my back and feet prevented me from successfully performing the duties of my job. I was working as a culinary supervisor at CenturyLink Field, home of the Seattle Seahawks and Sounders FC, where we would feed up to 70,000 fans on any given game day. So, for example, during an NFL football game, I had to run all over the massive stadium under extreme stress for no less than 12 hours, and then barely able to walk when my shift was over. On my last days of work, and my last official day as a culinary professional, I left the stadium unnoticed with no gold watch or retirement party. It was heartbreaking for me. Moreover, although I could no longer meet the demands of my job, I was too young to file for Social Security benefits or receive Medicare. Fortunately for me, I could fall back on my other administrative career skills in order to work at a desk for the remainder of my life. Yay, lucky me. But even now, at age 62, I cannot retire, having never earned a pension or built a 401k nest egg. And yes, some of that is my fault, but for the most part, I never had the options of gaining a pension or building a 401k nest egg. So my research paper for Capstone 3 focuses on social issues for all culinary professionals. However, this particular presentation primarily brings awareness to the aging chef, a topic I can sadly relate to. There are a limited number of organizations supporting culinary professionals, and not all are equal. The National Restaurant Association, that we'll refer to as the NRA, provides representation through lobbying efforts and advocacy for 500,000 food service organizations and restaurant owners, and is the largest food service trade organization in the world. But the NRA does not focus on the men and women working for the restaurants they represent. Now, on the other hand, the American Culinary Federation, that we'll refer to as ACF, primarily focuses on culinary professionals, providing education and networking opportunities through membership. But the ACF could provide much needed healthcare and retirement benefits for its members, and could provide groundbreaking changes, making all the difference between a chef aging gracefully with health and retirement security, or living a life of poverty and degradation. So this presentation will examine hypothetical programs aimed at the way the ACF could assist its members. So let's look at some important food service industry statistics. We know that the industry itself employs 1 out of 10 US workers, totaling about 14 million individuals in the food service sector. And out of those 14 million, you've got 3 million designated as culinary workers. And then out of that 3 million, about just a little over 134,000 of those are considered chefs or head cooks. Now, this industry also has reported by the National Restaurant Association in 2017 to have seen revenue and sales reaching $799 billion. Now, let's take a moment for that to sink in. 799 billion in sales. Yet this is an industry known for long working hours and low wages, and a vast majority of the food service organizations fail to offer health insurance or retirement security. So it begs to answer the question, why? Why, with so much revenue, are culinary workers still continue to be marginalized? The National Restaurant Association has lobbied heavily against the Affordable Care Act, believing it is bad for business. Their argument is that mandated health insurance results in lost profits, costly administrative overhead, and prevents establishments from expanding. But it should be noted here the NRA lobbies for food service companies and owners rather than food service workers. Moreover, changes in retirement pension programs means most employees these days are left to fend for themselves. By definition, a defined benefit pension plan is the type of retirement program offered by employers in which the employee receives an employer-paid pension in lieu of years of service. But unfortunately, the recession about a decade ago caused many to lose those pensions. And moreover, employer-paid pensions have diminished over the years, with most food service organizations never offering a retirement plan for their employees to begin with. Chefs face numerous challenges from working in this difficult profession. Physical, mental, and emotional strain cause many individuals to quit the profession prior to retirement age. Burnout is common amongst chefs of all ages, but older culinary professionals can experience these issues more acutely and are vulnerable to workplace ageism and chronic injury. The industry is fraught with on-the-job injuries and occupational hazards. Often the fear of an injury can be just as debilitating as the injury itself. And according to research, women are more susceptible to injury than men, and older workers are more vulnerable. We are all familiar with the political issues surrounding government-mandated health coverage. Here we can see some of the differences between the current government plan, also known as Obamacare, and the one presented as a replacement, also known as Trump Care. So under the current Affordable Care Act, a chef making roughly $56,000 a year pays about $6,800 annually for insurance. Now, if the replacement known as the Better Care Reconciliation Act passes, that same chef will now have to pay roughly $20,000 a year for the same insurance policy, and that's about a third of their salary. But on the upside, individuals working in the food service sector whose employers do not provide coverage can obtain their own. But on the downside, with the new Better Care Reconciliation Act, those costs of obtaining coverage, especially for older chefs, will become cost prohibitive. Before we get into the nuts and bolts of my hypothetical benefits proposal, let's take a moment to review some demographics. The baby boomer generation is morphing into senior citizenship, yet continue to make up about 24% of the total workforce. The fact is, an estimated 40% of these individuals have to keep working, well past the traditional retirement age. I happen to be one of those individuals. But what is more frightening is because of their age, these baby boomers, once unemployed, remain so far longer than their counterparts, their younger counterparts. Look at it this way. Say a 59-year-old chef can no longer meet the demands of his or her job and is forced out of their position. At age 59, this person's not yet eligible for Social Security benefits or Medicare. The chef is now out of work, has no early pension to fall back on, may not have health care, and will spend more time on the unemployment line due to their age. Sadly, poverty is not uncommon among older, disenfranchised workers, and many culinarians don't have other skill sets to fall back on. I fortunately was one of the lucky ones due to a dual career as an office administrator, but most of my culinary coworkers do not have that benefit. Working in a kitchen is all they know. The lack of proper retirement security is not just a food industry issue. Many individuals lost their retirement nest eggs during the recession, leaving them with little or no savings. And we already know the food service sector historically does not provide for retirement benefits, even though it's not all that difficult to do. And we'll have more on that later. But you can see aging issues, future economic conditions, pressures on baby boomers to work longer. There's a decrease in the talent pool, and food service workers are not able to obtain retirement security through their employer-based plans. It's a rather dire situation. Looking at issues that face older chefs, we see that the industry itself is notorious for poor working conditions, which often affect older workers on a deeper level. Think for just a moment what it would mean if this very profitable industry provided for health and retirement security. We might see lower turnover, less labor shortages, and less chefs leaving the profession before retirement. It's hard to imagine what ageism looks like when you are still young. Although the government has taken measures to stop age discrimination through the Age Discrimination Employment Act of 1967, also known as the ADEA, the laws are often overlooked by employers and rarely enforced. Face it, being a chef takes stamina, speed, and fortitude, all of which diminish with age. So a quick look at this chart here indicates additional aging issues regarding poverty. As previously stated, a chef forced out of the profession before retirement eligibility could end up as a statistic on this chart. Regretfully, the chart itself does not break down gender issues, and we know women are more vulnerable to poverty, just as the African Americans and Hispanics. And you can see how these older minorities have a much greater percentage of poverty over their white counterparts. With issues on healthcare, retirement security, and ageism in mind, let's think outside the box for a moment and examine hypothetical ways in which the American Culinary Federation could become the hero for thousands of aging culinary professionals. One way the ACF can help its members is by emulating programs provided through unions such as Unite Here. Unite Here is a hospitality union providing benefits to over 270,000 members in various sectors of the food service industry, all except for standalone restaurants. Unions are in place to support hourly workers, which means salaried chef managers are ineligible for the superb benefits that the collective bargaining unit provides. But that doesn't mean chefs couldn't benefit from such plans. Think about it. Unions provide low cost or no cost health insurance premiums, pension plans, and advocate against aging and discrimination. So when I worked in the large casino and hotels in Las Vegas, I was able to take advantage of union benefits from time to time. I enjoyed free health insurance premiums, and had I continued to work under the collective bargaining unit, I could have had a sweet pension by now. The ACF would be wise to review and evaluate the union benefit model to see how their organization could implement these programs for their own members. The ACF provides education, apprenticeship, and certification opportunities for its members. Yet most of these benefits assist the up-and-coming chef or those who are still working in the trenches and do not focus so much on the aging culinary professional. But in fact, thanks to the ACF's efforts in 1976, the United States Department of Labor changed the chef job description from a service status to a professional category, which expanded the industry and paved the way for culinary boom we enjoy today. Although the small change may seem insignificant to those outside the industry, the social implications have been astounding. For example, the celebrity chef and the popularity of all things culinary may not have had the same impact if chefs had not been elevated to that professional status. With so much power and influence, the ACF falls short in supporting its members. The American Culinary Federation has long offered members life insurance options. And I am happy to announce that effective April 2nd, 2018, in just 2 days' time, the organization has started offering health insurance through their new private insurance exchange. But they have yet to offer retirement benefits to their members. Unfortunately, you have to be a member to access information about the new insurance exchange. Therefore, details were not readily available for this report. If we consider the issues facing aging culinary professionals, it stands to reason the ACF would want to jump at the chance to provide security to those who have spent their lives serving others. Although their new insurance exchange is a step in the right direction, and they should be applauded for doing it, more certainly can be done. If unions, such as Unite Here, can successfully provide benefits to their members, the American Culinary Federation can too. Here are some hypothetical suggestions for ways in which the ACF could make this work. First of all, why reinvent the wheel? There would be no reason to start from scratch, as the ACF could easily follow the union benefit model to start their programs. And in truth, it might even be smarter to piggyback with those unions, starting a dialogue to find a way in which the union and ACF could join forces, so that chefs paying membership to the ACF would also receive the much coveted benefits afforded to union members. Some suggestions might be to switch from a one-time annual membership fee to a monthly higher dues, which would help defray the benefit plans. Just look at the positive outcomes from implementing a program like this. There could be tax benefits to both the organizations and the individuals, increased membership to the ACF and unions, and perhaps the ability to reduce turnover and fight against ageism. The ACF would truly be a superstar in the eyes of thousands of culinary professionals faced with early retirement if they looked at the union benefit models. And here's where it gets interesting. Unite Here Union offers 9 different pension funds. So what if the ACF members could participate in these funds? Not only would the ACF profit from this, but so would the Unite Here funds through increased membership. Furthermore, look at all the healthcare benefits the union provides. They even have their own health clinics in select cities. Wouldn't it be nice if a chef could take advantage of these clinics or any of the other health benefits offered from their plan? It would be a win-win situation for everyone. Another challenge older culinary professionals face is age discrimination. Now, I don't know about anyone else, but I have been a victim of ageism for several years now, and let me say it isn't pretty. Just try and find a job over the age of 59. It's challenging to say the least, especially in the culinary sector if you're enduring chronic physical disability and can no longer meet the demands of the job. The ACF could and should advocate for its older workers by bringing awareness of this problem through seminars, workshops, and job assistance. The Unite Here union has a strong discrimination policy, which is listed here on the slide, and protects its workers at any age. So therefore, I challenge the American Culinary Federation to do the same. Society needs to understand being a culinary professional is not always the glamorous career path as portrayed on television. The majority of culinary professionals work in the trenches and are often underpaid, overworked, stressed out, and susceptible to substance abuse. Culinary workers may behave inappropriately and often lead lonely, isolated lives, especially the older ones. Yet chefs are idolized and elevated to celebrity status, warranted or not. Some chefs have the benefit of working for corporations, such as in the hotel or casino environment or with larger restaurant groups. And thanks to these corporations, sustained employment translates to health and retirement benefit participation. Hourly team members often enjoy the benefits of a collective bargaining agreement, which also provides low-cost health coverage and pensions. But for those working at smaller food service organizations, the mom and pop operations, or a chef ownership facility may not receive the important financial and health options their corporate counterparts enjoy. Harsh working conditions, high turnover, chronic labor shortages, age discrimination, stress, work-life balances, fear of injury, negative experiences, and lack of benefits represent the real culinary world. The glitz and glamour of a chef's life, as portrayed by television and the media, does not tell the real story of those culinary professionals surviving in the trenches daily. Chronic labor shortages are a continuous issue for food service organizations. Low wages and long hours away from family are leading some chefs to leave the industry altogether. And add to this the lack of health insurance and retirement security, it's no wonder the food service employee is transitory. Culinary professionals often experience chronic health issues or career-ending injuries. And because sustained physical debilitation, mental stress, and emotional strain is inevitable for most culinary professionals, the industry loses too many qualified chefs before retirement age due to burnout or injury, forcing them out of their careers before retirement age. In conclusion, older culinary professionals need help and support, and what better agency to provide this help than the largest culinary organization in North America. The ACF could be a pioneer in tackling many of the healthcare and retirement issues facing their members and those in the industry in general. Providing the new insurance exchange helps, but it is a baby step in solving issues relating to the aging culinary professional. Let's keep our chefs healthy, happy, financially secure, and in the workplace for years to come. Thank you so much for your time today and for your consideration in this important matter.